Hey everybody, hang tight a second. Oh no, no, no. No, I just haven't started yet. Sorry guys, I'm just getting things settled. I was supposed to have a sleeping child. I'm just waiting for Hope to jump in. Okay, let's patiently wait to get started. I don't know, maybe somebody can, I don't know why I'm having trouble with StreamYard. I can't, I'm not getting like the little pop-up like I normally do when somebody's backstage. So I don't know if it's something on my end or what. So please just bear with us for a moment. And my sound is muffled. Okay. All right. All right. Is that better? Is the sound better now? Yay! It worked.
Oh my gosh. I'm such a newbie.
I know, we're noobs. Noobs. Is my sound better now that I'm off the Bluetooth? Or do I still sound muffled?
You sound fine to me, but we're
Am I
both
nice
loud
and
or
clear?
Auddie's loud?
It's probably me. My volume's way up. Okay, good. Clear. Am I speaking too loud or my volume up too much? I'll turn it down a little bit. Because I'm not sure how to control the mic versus like the input versus output sounds. Well, hello everybody. Happy Saturday. So I had such a good plan in my head when me and Hope were talking because normally CJ falls asleep around 2:30 and we went to the park, got all our willies out, used a lot of energy, and she was laying down so nicely and now she's running in circles. So here we are.
I don't hear her. She's being quiet, running in circles.
She's playing with stickers.
Oh, okay.
All right. So, oh, there we go. So, Hope, why don't you kind of do the rundown that we talked about, and then I'll settle her real quick, and then we'll get back. I'll get back on with you.
Mama! Okay. So this is kind of, we're not going to do a whole lot on this live, but just kind of talk a little about ourselves and what we plan for the channel and kind of a list of some of the cases that we're planning on covering and topics. So, um, so I guess I'll start since she's occupied. Um, so I am like kind of my experience that I'll be bringing into the channel is I am a mom of 3 boys, and I have been a registered nurse since the year 2000, so I don't want to count the years because I feel old. And I've worked in several different areas of nursing. I have worked in the bariatric unit. I've worked in surgery as a circulator in the surgery suite. I have done case management, and I have done hospice nursing. So that's kind of my background as far as that goes. I have been married and divorced. I was married for 12 years in an abusive marriage, divorced, and then my ex-husband, the father of my 3 children, was in a motorcycle accident and suffered a traumatic brain injury. So we had a lot of interesting experiences after that. I currently am not working. I have lupus and several medical conditions, so I'm no longer working, which gives me time to look into cases and spend a lot of time on YouTube, which is what I do. I know I'm old, Mo. Are you available, Auddie?
Yep, I'm here.
Your turn.
Oh, so we're doing our little bios.
Yep.
I am also a registered nurse and have been since 2005. And I've worked in a couple different areas, but I'm very niche now, and I have been for the last like 14, 15 years, meaning like I've been in a specialty practice. I have a toddler. She wants a cupcake. I'll be back.
My children are all grown teenagers, so, well, I have a 21-year-old, but the rest are teenagers, so hopefully there won't be any yelling in my background. If there is, then something's really wrong.
Okay, sorry. So I found myself on YouTube mainly, I guess it was kind of the start of COVID, but I was really following like a lot of the beauty stuff and the beauty drama, so to speak, like things that were going on with like Jaclyn Hill and Jeffree Star and all that stuff. And I was really into that for a while, and there was a couple like on Facebook things that I was like involved in, and I had a makeup group on Facebook and stuff. And then I think it was after I watched Tiger King, right? Because that came out in like when we all started quarantining, correct?
Yes.
I feel like it did, or that's when I watched it.
Yeah.
And then that got me like more interested in true crime things and just like things in that of that nature, and kind of delving into like what people removed from the story thought about it. So like on Twitter, and then obviously I started snooping around on YouTube, and then somehow I stumbled upon Critical K, and that is then when I first heard about, I must have been watching some Watts stuff too, I would think, but then the Michael Long stuff. And then here we are. And now we're here. And now we want to, I'm sure as Hope said, kind of get back into talking about cases and, you know, having good discussion and dialogue about things going on without the BS attached to it. Is that a fair statement?
Yes. That's our goal.
That's our goal. And did you go over like what are like things that we're gonna be discussing?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
So, um, I had a channel already started before this, and I kind of gave up on it because, yeah, I I don't know. But I did some cases then, so I've done a lot of research on a few cases that we'll cover. So, Crystal Rogers is the case that we're going to cover, and that is out of Kentucky, and she has still not been found, so that's still an active case. Holly Bobo is a case in Tennessee that we're going to cover that is pretty interesting because after researching, feel like they arrested the wrong people. Rod Farrell, which is the vampire cult killing, we'll cover that. Then, of course, the Redonda Vaught case, which is the RN that just got found guilty for negligent homicide in Tennessee. The sentencing is what, May 13th, I think?
Correct. May 13th, which we'll definitely be following closely.
Yes. And then the Westminster 3, we both know about that case. And then there's a Dr. William, gosh, I don't know how to say this last name, Hustle,
I think so.
that is in Ohio. Um, that is another drug related fentanyl type case that we are going to look into. Possibly Casey Anthony. I know Auddie has been digging into that one lately, and
Yeah, I just got
it
like re-obsessed with it again because on May 8th, Cindy did an interview. I talked about this the other day a little bit.
CJ wants to join in.
You know what? She doesn't like instead of just like I guess she's not old enough yet to like change the channel. So it's May 13th, by the way, Jill. I just looked it up because I thought it was May 11th too. Then I double checked it. Sentencing hearing is scheduled for May 13th for Redonda. So am I saying it right? And they're saying she's
Yeah.
facing 3 to 6 years in prison for gross negligent conviction and 1 to 2 years on top of that. I'm assuming for the reckless endangerment. But the Casey Anthony stuff, just I got like a new fire lit under my ass for that. CJ crime junkie. Oh my god, Mo, that's hysterical. Soon as she sees this laptop open up, she thinks it's work, and then she wants to like participate and help. Yeah, May 13th, which will be really interesting. I'm wondering if we could stream it and like watch it together, but I don't even know what day of the week that is or what time of day it is, but might be worth exploring.
Yes. Yeah.
But
Not
the
that
Casey Anthony, oh, I'm sorry, Hope, go ahead.
the Casey Anthony is not still active. It's just kind of one of those cases where it's like how. It's
Well,
the only
yeah,
word I
it's
have.
so frustrating. Oh, and didn't you say, or maybe it was Tate? Somebody said, and they're re-looking at new DNA for Memphis 3, right? So that's
Yes.
something that's going to be like actually happening in real time as well. So that'll be interesting. Um, you know what the thing about the Casey Anthony stuff is that I feel like even after you watch and read and see everything 1,000 times, something new pops up that frustrates you even more, and you're like, really? They presented this as well to the jury, and still like, and that's just what I think gets me so crazy.
Yes. That's why I told you that case annoys the crap out of me. I don't care to cover it, but it annoys me because I just don't understand.
Well,
And
that's the
then
thing; it becomes frustrating.
the John Bonet case also is really interesting to me, and that was a case where there was a lot of things done wrong in the beginning by law enforcement that kind of screwed up that case. And then Alexis Ware. I think we may do that case. Sorry. So, and then on top of doing cases, we're also going to talk about some things that we have kind of had personal experience with or have strong opinions on. So, I think we talked about the other day, like the opioid crisis and pain management type discussion. And we want to talk about CPS and kind of the process of when a call is made, what happens, how that plays out, the experiences we've had on the nursing side of seeing CPS things. So kind of a factual look at it, not, we don't want anything personal or emotional type, just looking at the process. Probably domestic violence, we'll do that. And then parasocial relationships, which is something
Oh,
I've
yeah.
only recently discovered existed. And so that's the relationships between the viewers on YouTube or on TV and their relationship with the creators or celebrities and how greatly it affects people when it's not even a real relationship because the one person doesn't even know you exist. So
Yeah, I'm very, very interested in discussing that. And I'm really interested in getting other people's feedback about that because we have watched things happen that are just really bizarre, in my opinion. Um, and I'm sure it's similar, like whether it's YouTube, and I'm sure this happens in like big Facebook groups where there's creators or, people that run them and do live streams and interact with people within the group. We're still talking about that, right? The parasocial relationships.
yes.
Okay. And also, just really quick before I forget, to Mo, I sub to that channel where they cover a lot of the Alexa stuff. He does like a live every day almost. And that is wild. That is a case too. That is so many layers that really would take like really, really peeling back each layer and looking at it. But yeah, the parasocial stuff is, I think, fascinating. And I think that, oh, and TikTok too. I just saw with that Mo said something about TikTok. Same thing goes on there. You
Oh,
know,
really?
oh gosh, yeah, with the parasocial stuff. Oh my gosh, definitely. Hey, Queen.
See, I'm old, so I don't have TikTok. But I think that it plays out in every community because I've heard like that the crafting community has this craziness too, and I don't think it's just the true crime communities. I think it's everywhere, and it's fascinating how people get pulled into this, and especially with the pandemic, people at home looking for communication and relation with other people, and it's really made an interesting dynamic. And I'm trying to not like talk to death because I want Auddie to talk to, but I know she's got CJ, so I'm trying to kind of listen for her to see if she's available to talk. Um, so
Hi,
yeah,
Meow. Hi, Queen. Hi, bartender. Sorry, I was just saying hi to everybody. I'm just trying to look at the chat now. I didn't get to really look. I was just catching little blips and blabs.
yeah, Dutch, you'll have to look up parasocial relationship. I just found out and started reading about it a couple of weeks ago, and it's very interesting.
Yeah, when we start talking about it, and if you guys do any like research, it is going to be, your jaw's going to hit the floor because you're going to be like, oh my goodness, I have bared witness to this. Like we were watching this happen on the regular to the point where it's like really, I mean, I hate to use the word cringe. I feel like I use it too much now, but it's like really uncomfortable. I know for sure that I've heard things like I was texting with Hope last night and I was over something we overheard simultaneously and was like, did you just hear that? That's like really bizarre. Like people should not be talking to each other like this, strangers on the internet. Like it's strange. But it's fascinating because like how do we, and it's always over, like we all know YouTube time is bizarre, right? Like what's a week feels like a year. Something that happened a couple days ago feels like it was so long ago. It's like this really strange time continuum. It's like being in like an alternate universe or something. I don't know.
Yes, and people, I mean, there are people that get so attached to creators that they act like they physically have known them in person for years, and it's really strange to sit back and watch some of that evolve.
Yeah. And like
Yes,
what
Mo
sometimes
again.
like, yeah, the passion that people have for somebody that's, I mean, whether it be defending them or we like to say white knighting, right? That's become a popular term, or like, I don't even want to use the word advocating because I feel like that's too, I don't know, professional almost, because it's not advocating. It's saying things like, I heard somebody say they would take a bullet for somebody. Like, that is bizarre. Like, these are not your children, these are not your spouse. Um, if it is it somebody's birthday? Oh no, it was a joke. Is it a joke? If not, happy birthday, Jill. I don't know. I just see some happy birthdays. Oh, well, happy birthday to Meow's dad. I've lost track of the days, to be
Yeah,
quite honest. It's been a weird week. Like the number days. Hi, three boy
yeah. Welcome
mom.
to my life.
I know, like it's so weird, right? Some days it just feels like I'm like, wait, it's the 20 what? It's the 25th, the 26th. Today's the 26th. It feels like it was just the 19th. How did this happen?
Yes. Oh, and we want to have a panel with Excuse Meow too, where we can talk about nursing stuff. Because once you've been in nursing, you have stories galore, and I'm sure that the three of us all have different backgrounds and experiences. And I told Auddie there may not be anybody who wants to listen to us talk about them, but
I know we
the
said
three
that
of us
yesterday.
would love it.
Yeah. If anybody wants to just hear like what actually goes down, because it really kind of ignited this conversation after watching when Queen was streaming, when she was covering and we were talking about it and she was streaming what was happening with Vought, and it really just, and I think unless you've lived it to a certain degree, obviously, I mean, I'm just speaking for myself right now, like I've never had a sentinel event happen like to me, like as a nurse, but mistakes happen and things happen, and it just ignited something in me that just felt like so frustrated with what we were watching happen. Hi, Shelly. Oh,
Shame
hot
that you
nurse
don't want to
costume.
see me in a hot nurse costume. It wouldn't be
Hmm.
hot, I can tell you that.
I was gonna say everything for my hot nurse costume would be flopping out of one spot or another. What's that saying? It'd be like stuffed in a what do they say? Like your biscuit, like the biscuit can, when it explodes when you
Yes.
open your Grand's biscuits. You're right, Tank. That's what will bring in the viewers. We'll wear our hot nurse uniforms. The ones we wear on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to work.
Yeah. Yep. Did
I
you
will
have to
say
wear
when
the white and the hat whenever you graduated?
I wore when I graduated, I had to wear all white. I still have my graduation picture. I should show it. We only wore the cap for photo, like the actual school photos. And I can't remember at our pinning ceremony. I think we wore the cap for pinning. But yeah. And gosh, I look back at that when I look at that and think, oh, I was in such good shape, and I was so full of energy and wanted to save the world, right? When you're a new nurse, you just want to save
Oh
the
yeah.
world. And I was like signing up for every shift and working a million different places to get as much as I could, and just this wanted to
Yeah,
learn
that's
as much as
exciting.
possible. You didn't have white uniforms, Mia? We wore all white only for
What?
graduation, not in school, not in clinicals, and certainly not when I started working. We never, I mean, I think I might have wore white in the, when I worked in the nursing home, we could wear whatever we want. So I wore some white scrub pants, but hospital was always navy.
Oh no, we had to wear white scrubs for clinicals too.
I think for
It was
clinicals,
awful.
we had a jacket that was white that had the school's name on it. And I can't remember. I think it was burgundy or blue. It might have been navy even then. I think we wore navy and the radiology tech students wore burgundy. And the respiratory students wore like that light baby blue, like that looks like DOR scrubs.
I can't believe you didn't have to wear white,
Bye,
Mia.
Mia.
That's crazy.
Have a good one. Yeah.
Bye, Mia.
Um, not in clinicals. Um, Mia didn't even have white uniforms.
I know, that's insane.
Did you guys have to work? I mean, not to get off on this topic, just one quick thing, and we can go back to talking about crime. Like right before you graduated, did everybody have to do like where you work the shifts? Like you saw, like for us, we could pick day or night, and we had to do 2 a week. Or I mean, for us, it was 2 12-hour shifts for like the last few weeks.
No, we just had clinicals.
Oh, okay. So it was like the last few weeks before graduation, and then like I worked on a hem-onc floor. And they offered me a job, but it wasn't the hospital I wanted to work in, so I didn't take it. But they were
Yeah,
really nice.
Queen
I
had
really,
to wear
really
white
enjoyed it.
too.
What's that?
Queen had to wear white too.
Oh, yeah? I don't think we wore white for school. For some reason, I feel like I wore a golf shirt. This is going to sound crazy. Maybe it was white scrub pants, but we had like a blue golf shirt, like a polo shirt that I think said the school's name, and then the lab coat. Navy blue scrubs, periwinkle blue polo shirt. Yeah, see, with the school logo. That's what I think I had in a lab coat. And white, yes, definitely white clogs. Practicum. I couldn't think of what it was called. But
Nope, I didn't have to do
oh
hair.
my gosh, I have a ketamine story about my son. He was getting hit when he first got diagnosed with Lyme's. He was diagnosed with he has arthritic Lyme's, and or Lyme's arthritis, whatever you want to call it. And what got him diagnosed was we never found a tick, we never saw a bullseye, nothing like that. He one day woke up with knee pain. And I kind of just thought growing pains, whatever. He was little then. Oh my gosh, maybe he was 6, if that, maybe 6, I think, because he was in camp at the time. And as the morning progressed, his knee like went from the time I left my house till I got to the hospital. It's my classic move: bring the kid to work with me, and when we get a moment, go to the ER and get checked out. I still do it to this day if there's an issue. His knee was the size of a golf ball. A golf ball. His knee was the size of probably softball at that point, and he couldn't bear weight. So I put him in a little wheelchair and I wheeled him down to the ER. I honestly thought he had an osteo or something, like an infection from a scrape or something. And long story short, the big gigantic workup, everything. They figure out it's Lyme's, and he has to have his knee drained. And they were gonna, tap the knee. And they came in and said, we're gonna give him ketamine. And I thought, what? You're giving my baby ketamine? Like all I could think of was like ketamine from like, like the street drug ketamine and like K-holes and stuff. And they gave him ketamine. And to this day, when he broke his arm or his wrist the other day, again, we were sitting in the ER. He goes, something made him talk about the orthopedic, because it's the same orthopedic that's been with him through all of his injuries, except, even with the knee. And he said, did Dr. So-and-so, did he drain my knee too? Or whatever he said. And I said, yeah. And I go, boy, Max, do you remember that? And he goes, I kind of do. And I go, all I remember is you looking at me after like he started to kind of come around a little bit and go, why do I see 3 of you, mommy? It's like it sits in my brain forever. Like, oh, this poor kid. But he felt no pain. And it actually was really effective because he wasn't completely out, right? So I felt better about that than them like just completely sedating him and knocking him out. But I know Dutchie's story is not nearly as cute.
Yeah,
I know she is. hers was
definitely got a
scary.
good ketamine story.
Yeah.
I had
Um,
ketamine to get a epidural injection, and it did not. I did not like it. I felt everything, I remembered everything, but I felt really weird, and I did not
yeah.
like it.
So they're using, so I, one of the things I also really enjoy, like, well, I just could speak from personal experience as well as like everything that's involved in like perinatal mood and anxieties and all that stuff and postpartum depression. And right now it's not clinical trial anymore. Like it's used there's ketamine treatments being used for severe postpartum, and it's done in an inpatient basis initially. Your first dose, I don't want to say an inpatient, it's like a 24-hour observation. You go in, they do the nasal spray, the ketamine nasal spray, and then you're monitored, and then like they start to taper. You go, I don't know if it's every month, and then it starts to go every 3 months, then every 6 months, whatever the case. It has been so incredibly effective for these women. Like it's unbelievable.
Wow.
If you read the studies and look at people's experiences, and I've spoken to a few moms just because I also have that little, gestational program. It's really amazing. It's life changing. It's life saving, and it's really really interesting.
Did you have postpartum depression?
I had really bad postpartum anxiety. I was never diagnosed with postpartum depression, but I had not I want to say severe, but bad enough postpartum anxiety. I had some like intrusive thoughts. It really was a scary time. I was alone. Joe was gone a lot traveling,
Mm-hmm.
and I had the baby and Max, and I was just really in a way that was like had really bad anxiety. I was obsessing about things that were just really bizarre, but I couldn't shake it. So I went through a program that really really helped me. Like just go and meet with other mom groups, and did a lot of therapy and such, and it was really 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 good. I'm very passionate about that. Bloom Foundation is the this program that I went to is based off of Bloom Foundation, like what they've done. But I met a lot of moms, and this ketamine treatment I had heard about afterwards. It wasn't something that was appropriate for me. I wasn't having any sort of depression, but the depression that's debilitating, it seems to be super effective. Bye, Jill.
Interesting. I
Yeah.
didn't have any problem with that, so hey, Nana.
Yeah, Dutch. For depression, same thing with the microdosing. That's been really effective in PTSD management, especially in. Oh, did you hear that?
No,
TJ's going, walking down the hall, going, "Mom, I pooped. I pooped." All
of
right,
course, you're
of
talking to
course,
me.
of course. You bring it out of her. What can I say? And I just bought a bunch of prunes today for her. Good thing I didn't give them.
Yeah, meow, that's interesting to know how often in your shifts that you do overrides and get those warnings. So like I said, I am not working anymore, so I did work with, we call ours Pixis machines, but I did work with them when I was working, but I don't anymore. But the last job I had was case management in ICU and CCU. So people don't realize that alarm fatigue is really a thing. You get to hearing alarms constantly that you don't even hear them anymore, and you just overlook a lot of things because you're so used to it, um, and it happens. It's real in the units. It's a really big thing because you have all kinds of alarms. You have patients that are on IV drips and ventilators and heart monitors, and you get to the point that you hear it so much. Yeah, Dutch, it's like desensitization. You literally don't hear it. Like when I was first started nursing, I could hear an alarm all the way at the end of the hallway from the nurses station, and um, I felt like I went home and heard alarms in my head because I heard them so much at work. But I can say now, um, being in ICU and CCU and hearing all the alarms, you really tune it out. Your brain, you don't notice them as much. And yeah, they have, because most of the alarm settings, I know in the units anyway, you can set them to your own minimums and maximums because patients have different where you want them to be. And there's some doctors that want the alarm set at a certain place that don't make any sense. And so you're like, you hear the alarm going off, but you know that the doctor has set it for a certain, I don't know how to explain it. I'm probably not making any sense, but, and then there's things, how many patients per nurse did you have in your experience? Oh gosh. Well, it depends. When I worked on the bariatric floor, we typically had 8 to 10 patients to a nurse, and then there were times that I would be charge nurse on top of taking patients, which isn't supposed to happen. A charge nurse is not supposed to have their own patient load, but we were short, so I did. And then, of course, we had nurse aides that were lifesavers.
Oh, yeah.
In the units here, it is 1 to 2 patients a nurse. You have some that are one-on-one patients, and then but they never have more than 2 patients here in ICU and CCU.
I think it's similar for us. On the floor, it would probably have between 8 and 10, but our turnover was so crazy because it was ortho, post-op ortho, so we were discharging and admitting, and it was just like, oh, blood transfusions and PCAs. That's what I did all day.
And now with hospice, I had 18 to 20 patients at a time. And it was patients at home, of course, that I would have to see through the week.
I remember filling out like handwriting acuity sheets at the end of a shift. Like when Meow just said, it depends on the acuity. Now it's probably all done by bed control or something like that. Who knows? Electronically. But we used to handwrite the acuity sheets.
Yeah, when I first started nursing and the notes were all handwritten, like med errors were really common because you could not read what the doctors wrote. And I don't know if it's the same everywhere, but our doctors here are jerks. And you did not want to call them after they had left and ask them what their handwriting said because you were going to get cussed. So
yeah, I was very fortunate because it was a teaching hospital, so we had residents 24/7, but also post-op ortho was their residents stayed on the unit. So they had like a little apartment, so they were always there. So I never had to call an attending. It was very rare. The neuro guys were not teaching, but they were pretty decent. But the ortho residents, they were what they were. They were kind of jerky, but they did what they had to. So that, we would get, of course, all the medical consults, but again, they were all residents usually.
Well, it kind of sucks, and that's how I picked my personal doctor.
Yeah.
I looked at who we're scared to call because I didn't want a doctor if I were to go in the hospital. I didn't want to get one of those doctors that the nurses were afraid to call.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I picked my primary care doctor. It was somebody that was nice to the nurses and that they could call for things. And surgeons were 100 times worse.
Oh, yeah. They just have different personalities. They're built different.
Yes.
Yeah, the writing. Yep. I learned how to read really sloppy handwriting. And we used, so in ortho, they used to, traction was like obviously still a big thing then. I don't know if they still do it. I mean, I would assume so. Some docs swore by it. And there's this one doctor, he would always write the orders on one big piece, like on a piece of paper in the chart, but across the whole paper. And he always used a purple marker. It was like so unprofessional and so annoying, but he did it because he was a jerk. And he would write slings and springs now. He would like write a diagonal on the page. Like he'd come up to the floor, write slings and springs now on the notes and chuck the chart. And then, you know, the residents would be like, you set up some slings and springs. And I'm like, here's these big, strong guys, these big orthopod residents. They were all like the football players in high school. And here's me at the time, little old me, lugging out traction from the traction room, climbing up on patients' beds with them between my legs. I'd be straddled over, like standing up, you know what I mean, over the patient, one foot on each side, setting up slings and springs. Could you imagine? Also, I was thinking now, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, imagine if I drop one of those pulleys or something. It's terrible.
Yes, Meow. That's very true. There is a hierarchy with the doctors.
Sure is.
Now, I say at my hospital, the ER doctors run the show more than the hospitalist.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely be out. Oh, my gosh. I could tell so many stories about the ortho residents and the new ones, July. Well, right now, I find it interesting because right now, all the med students are getting, this is the time of year. So, like, if you know any kids in med school, right now, all of them throughout the country are getting their placements, right, for residency. Like, they all get them at the same time. So this was always an exciting time. Yes, honey.
I can't. When I worked in surgery, it was a different world. And I had people tell me, don't go into surgery, they'll eat you alive, it's terrible. And I did okay in there, but the surgeons, yeah, they're a different breed. And yes, neurosurgeons, we had one that actually got his privileges suspended at our other hospital. We have 2 hospitals in my town. So he had lost his privileges at that hospital. So he was only at the hospital I worked at. And when he started a surgery, and these back and brain surgeries could take 4 to 5 hours, he would make us lock the operating room doors so nobody could come in or out. You could not, there was no noise in there. It was very intimidating. He threw stuff across the room. He would cuss. It was terrible. Yeah, we do Versed before cardioversions too. Auddie, just tell me to shut up if you want to talk. Hey, crime time. I think that's the one thing that I didn't realize going into nursing was how the doctors were going to treat you. And I'll say I have had, when I worked in case management, we had some directors come from other areas of the nation, and they said that coming into the area where I am, that the doctors are put on pedestals and they're spoiled brats. And she didn't stay very long because she couldn't deal with how much they let the doctors get away with. So I don't know if that's just a regional thing or... I'm glad you got good ones.
Yeah, I think Meow said it perfect. Like you could have some really good ones that are easy to work with, super like helpful, like wanted to help you learn and understand. But like if you just takes a couple like regulars that are not, and that could just ruin a shift. It could ruin a experience really, because if you know you got to deal with that person every day, even if it's just one, and you know that they're going to just be cruel or not nice to you or disrespect you. And I'm just talking about as like an employee, like as a nurse or a PCA, never mind their patient care, it really could change things. It could change your whole experience. Oh, wait. Crime Time said she has wonderful news to tell everyone.
Oh, you're getting a baby?
Oh,
That's
my
awesome of you.
goodness. How exciting.
That's awesome of you to do.
Are you fostering? I mean, you don't have to tell us anything. I'm just curious about like the process, but you don't certainly have to elaborate. Is this like a foster thing? Don't even tell us. Never mind. I'm just super happy for you. That sounds amazing. You're so special.
Yes.
Like to step up and do that makes you a special type of human.
Yes, for sure. Um, yeah, that's part of why I enjoyed hospice nursing so much. Well, I loved my patients, but whenever you do hospice out in the homes, you are the eyes and ears for the doctor, so you don't deal with a lot of doctors. I had one doctor for all my patients, and if I needed something, I called him and told him what I was seeing, and he ordered something, and that was kind of the end of it. Um, so it was very busy working hospice because I had a lot of patients, but that was the most rewarding nursing job that I have had. Like, it was the only nursing job where families looked forward to you coming and thanked you and remember you years later. Wow, 9 pounds, 10 ounces. She is a big girl. Oh, I'm so happy for you. That's exciting.
Those are my typical little gestational diabetes babies.
Yeah, yep,
Those 9, 10, 11 pounders.
yep. Oh, pecan,
Pecan,
definitely.
yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
I would never marry a doctor.
Well, I will tell you, when I was new nurse, I was like, this is, I was working with a bunch of, like in post-op surgery. So I was like, maybe I'll bag myself a surgeon, preferably a plastic guy, but that fizzled out. I mean, that's not why I became a nurse, but it was kind of an idea I had. I
Yeah,
briefly considered it.
I would never marry a doctor. And they're
Eh.
on call so much, it's easy for them to have excuses to not be home. Oh, Meow dated a doctor. Yeah, Auddie cracks me up. Yeah, I'm sure Auddie does too, and Meow. I have lots of stories of inappropriate things going on. Yeah, I have a lot of hospice stories. Like all kinds of them, funny ones, touching ones, um, scary ones. It was interesting.
So what do you think, Hope, in order of events, what do you think will be our first case? Because we got time, like May 13th. Obviously, when we get closer to them, we can talk about what. But prior to that, do you have an idea what you want to do first?
I
We should do
don't.
maybe the Rogers.
We can do that one first, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's,
I think that'll be a good one for us to start off with because you have a lot of
yeah.
good info
Yes.
and we can work on like the sharing the screen so we could show all the stuff that you've collected so far.
Yes.
Yeah, Crime, we cannot wait to hear about your experience. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah. Y'all will kind of watch us. We don't know what we're doing really, so we'll be learning.
Yep, we'll be kind of learning as we go and learning how to use, I think for me at least, like how to use StreamYard and YouTube the way like it's intended so we can really show you guys good information and then we can talk about it.
Yeah, the Crystal Rogers case, it's in Bardstown, Kentucky. So that'll be, I don't know when we'll go live again, but that'll be the case that we talk about. It's probably going to be on weekends because Auddie has to work and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like if we do it on the weekends, it's just a little bit less pressure, you know what I mean? Because then I'm in a better mood. And I think like, you know, you too. I mean, you got stuff going on during the week too. You have appointments with the kids. I mean, like we all have stuff going on. Yes. Was Mo telling or asking?
I think telling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting on the Crystal Rogers case, there's a police officer that was killed a year before her, and then a year after she was killed, her dad was killed. So.
Yep, lots of moving parts.
They found a body next to a creek that they thought might be her. I think that was in like September of last year, and it ended up not being her.
Yeah, it's just it's another rabbit hole, so to speak. Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, I'm excited. There's like not excited that there's more crime by any means, and some of it's old cases, but like I'm glad to get back into like really looking at things and not just sitting and talking about the same, not even crime case, but just same group of people, so to speak. Ooh, killed the hubby and the side piece. Kelly Cochran. I'll Google that later. Oh, we lost Hope. Now she's back.
I'm back.
Are you back?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me kick your other one out. Okay. Are you there?
Yes.
Are you on your phone or PC?
Phone.
Okay. Hold on. I want to turn you up. It won't let me. Oh, here we go. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, that's good. For some reason I didn't realize I could adjust your mic volume on my end just so that I could hear you better.
Bye, Dutch.
Bye, Dutch. Oh, you're probably in the wee hours over there in the middle of the night. I don't even know.
Yeah.
So what's everybody got planned? What were you going to say?
Oh, I was just saying that's our plan.
Yep, that's our plan. So anybody got anything good for the plans for the weekend? Anybody watching anything good before we wrap it up? I got to get this little one down for a nap. I know it's already 3:30, but I want to try to get her down for at least an hour.
Yeah.
And then, we'll schedule whatever. Once we get our ducks in a row for Crystal Rogers, we'll put up the scheduled live. Oh my gosh, Mo, she asked for. That's funny. Like she never watched Coco Melon before, and then the last few days she's been asking for it. I put it on, and then she watches it and loses interest after a little bit, and then she just wants me to keep changing it to something different and then asks to change it again. So who knows? Oh, working on the house. Are you getting a sewing room, Nana? Because that's exciting.
You need to get an Etsy shop, Nana. I told you.
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea. Coco Melon's always on there, too. She watches on YouTube. It's called Come Play With Me. Yeah, baby. Okay, I'll be right there. It's called Come Play With Me, and it's like this little girl that just plays with her Barbies, and like it's an Elsa and Anna Barbie, and then I think it's baby Elsa and Anya, and Elsa and Anna, and she gave them the names Elsia and Anya. And this kid, I mean, I get it. It's like a huge YouTube channel. That I know this is gonna like sounds crazy, but this is crazy. She has every doll accessory. When I say like for Barbie dolls, right? If just anybody go take a look at this show. When I'm talking about shopping carts, she has a Claire's for her Barbies. What?
Oh my gosh.
Close my eyes. Hold on. Like every little accessory. Oh, Diana and Roma. That is huge here. Meow. That is a whole nother.
I told Auddie I wish I had a 16th of CJ's energy because it would get me going all day long. But we'll schedule the live, and it is probably going to be next weekend.
Yeah.
For Crystal Rogers, and
Yep.
we'll try to schedule a little ahead of the time so y'all can plan on it.
Yep. Meow. She watches Diana and Roma, that I have all like the Diana dolls and stuff, but she watches it in English, but also watches it in whatever, Russian or I don't know what language they're speaking. I think they're Russian. Just to watch them. It's like, why didn't I think of this? These people are probably billionaires. They have houses in Dubai and everywhere else. All right, I gotta go, guys. She's doing everything in her power to get me to comply. She's telling me she hurt her knee after she
Thank
just
y'all for coming.
rearranged the living room. Thank you, guys. It was fun, and we'll definitely have so many good topics to talk about, and we appreciate you guys hanging out, and we really hope there'll be some good engagement, and we'll do panels and all that fun stuff.
Yes.
We'll throw a trivia in somewhere one of these weekends. Yeah, make $20 million a year. Yeah, $20 million a year playing around your house. Ugh. All right, guys, have a good one. Bye.
Bye.